With CSGO's heavily rumored Source 2 update on the horizon, the community is in speculation about a lot of things. Matchmaking, tick rates, how it'll affect skins, whether it'll be a full-fledged operation, etc. But there is one thing that is on everybody's minds. Maps. Will Tuscan make it in? And if so, what'll it replace? Considering that right now the least played maps are the newest ones, there is a dream that could become a reality. And that is, are we finally getting rid of Mirage? Alright, so before we start milking Source 2 for even more viewership, I must plug our merch. Yes, we theScore esports have merch. Head over to shop.thescore.com and check out our esports collection. It's super well made. I wear it all the time, bias aside, so grab some for yourself or for a friend. With Source 2 likely on the way, a thing that has come up a lot as of late is maps, and speculation as to what will be in it after the ostensibly impending update. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about which maps will be in Source 2 in general. It is safe to assume that at some point they'll all either get remade or ported directly from the current engine. I'm just talking about what'll actually be in active duty. The reason for this is that we haven't had an operation for like a year and a half. So there's a fairly decent chance that if and when Source 2 does come along, it'll bring a bunch of content with it. Among said content may very well be a new addition to the competitive map pool, and right now, the leading contender is Tuscan. For those who didn't play Tuscan, or CPL Mill, back in older iterations of Counter-Strike, it is a very old, very famous map. The current CSGO version was in the works for quite some time, and was put into matchmaking back in August of 2022. And it's fine. B-Site is a bit of a nightmare in my opinion, since it's just so ratty, but it is a cool, uniquely structured legacy map that I and many others would really like to see the pros get a crack at so that it can get better. The question is, assuming it does come into active duty and that Valve keep the rotation at 7 total, what will it replace? Now, historically, Valve have opted to keep things objective by simply removing the least played map in the rotation. Last time, it was Dust 2. The time before that, it was Train. You see, right now, the maps seeing the least amount of play are the newest. Valve can't take out Anubis since they literally just put it in, and Ancient was only inserted into competitive play 2 years ago. It's also come a long way since then, and is Valve's sort of pet project map, since they essentially made it in secret and then surprised everyone by throwing it straight into active duty 3 months after release, despite it being in not so great a place. Since then, it's gotten way better, and I think for Valve, it serves as a sort of proof of concept that their own in-house maps can be made, released, thrown into active duty, and whipped into shape without a ton of pomp and circumstance. Suffice it to say, they're not going to take out Ancient. But the third least played map, Vertigote, is where things get interesting. You see, replacing Cache with Vertigo back in 2019 was Valve's first ever attempt at forcefully shaking up the map pool. Having never been played in competitive Counter-Strike, Vertigo's inclusion was very controversial.
Bring back Cache. Bring back Cache. Maybe just update Cache a little bit. I know that FM Pone's doing that. Just get it done and bring it back. Don't waste time with Vertigo.
Now, to be fair, the map that NAF was shitting on back in July of 2019 is very different from the Vertigo that we know and love today. And while there are certain competitors who regard the map as not so great.
Except the thing is with Vertigo, like the map just sucks.
The numbers do show that over time, Vertigo has not only reached a stable pick rate, but is actually one of the most balanced maps in Counter-Strike. So why am I saying all of this? Well, aside from the fact that I love Vertigo and want to fight for it, I'm trying to illustrate that the experiment that Valve conducted back in 2019 worked. I'm not even saying that Vertigo couldn't stand to see a change or two. I'm just saying that to pull the ripcord now and take it out entirely would be a really disappointing way for its journey to end. Especially considering that there are other maps that people have been whining about for much longer. In addition to being the most played map in the history of professional CSGO, Mirage has become absurdly, unacceptably overplayed in PUBG. There are countless memes concerning what a Mirage simulator FACEIT has become. And it sucks. In my opinion, any map being this much of an immovable pillar is a hindrance to the growth of the game. Never mind getting kids in a face-it pug to play a new map, I can't even get them to play 3 rounds of Anubis in retakes before saying F this map and RTVing our asses onto Mirage for the millionth time. Now, not everyone feels this way. In fact, Mirage is widely regarded as the closest thing CSGO has to a perfect map. And look, I admit, it is a very well-designed map. Could it use a few touch-ups? Like how B-site is a little too ratty and how if you're standing cat, you can effectively defend 2 bomb sites at once? Yeah, I think there's a little bit of work to be done there, but on the whole, it's a very good map. It is also very stale and criminally overplayed. This is, in my opinion, the best opportunity Valve have ever had to take out either Mirage or Inferno. I actually don't care which one. Just please, for the love of God, take one of them out. Those who know me know that I think very, very little of Inferno and regard it as easily the worst map in active duty. So yeah, would I ever so slightly prefer to see Inferno taken out over Mirage? Yes. But I recognize that the vast majority of players would rather see Mirage taken out given how stale and overplayed it is. Now, there is no question that if Valve took out Mirage tomorrow, it would send the entire player base into a frenzy. Pugs as we know them would enter an existential crisis, and A-ramp demons everywhere would start hemorrhaging elo until they learned new maps, which is precisely why they should do it. Mirage has been in CSGO since 2013. It is the only map to never be taken out of active duty, is the only map to be played at all 15 CSGO majors, and is home to some of the greatest plays that our game has ever seen. I know, run the jumping hump.
Much more utility to work with. Here he comes once again. The first base is a Dren. He's going to hit the ground there as Cold. Oh, what? A jumping double from Cold. What is going on right now? How does he do this?
Look, I get that y'all like it, but it's time, man. No map should be this untouchable, all right? If Dust 2 can get taken out twice, anything can. Will they take Mirage out? Unfortunately, I don't find it very likely. The community is just way too obsessed with it. And while I don't think they'll touch Nuke, since it's way too crucial to the pro scene and is actually the best map in Counter-Strike, I think that Overpass is a much easier target. And to be fair, I think there is a real case to be made that Overpass should go. Since it was first introduced back in 2013, Overpass has gone from an absolute dumpster fire to one of the best maps in CSGO. It had a super sick, super important run, but it has gotten really stale and CT-sided in ways that just aren't fun to play or watch. I swear, if I see one more monster pop get squashed by a jail spray down, I am gonna fall asleep smack dab in the middle of a connector rotate. Do I think Overpass should go before Mirage? No. But a man can dream. Anyway, I don't actually think that Valve will take out either Mirage or Inferno, at least not this time around, because quite frankly, I don't think they have the courage, but I will still be profoundly disappointed if they don't. That said, once Overpass is gone, the competition's gonna look a lot stiffer. They can't take out Nuke since it's way too good and way too crucial to the pro scene, plus it and Inferno were already taken out and reworked some years ago, which means, look alive, Mirage. Of course, they could just say F it and take out Vertigo, at which point I would pretty much lose every last bit of faith I have in Valve and scream into a f***ing pillow. Anyway, let's hope it doesn't come to that and see what happens with Source 2 first. Maps are a very tricky thing in CSGO. The community is so divided on what's good and what's not, and so resistant to change that sometimes it can become suffocating. Surely we can all agree that whether you like Mirage or don't, in order for Counter-Strike to stay healthy, it needs to stay fresh. So let's inject some freshness into it and take out Mirage. Any extra thoughts? Look, man, despite all this hoopla I made, I would actually rather they take out Inferno. That's my hot take. I actually honestly just want to see Inferno go. Inferno's such a hellscape, dude. I would really rather they take it out, but I think that the community has become too Stockholm syndromed